Good morning. I am Laurie Grube, the Master of Ceremonies for this morning's virtual Spirit of Scouting event, and I welcome you. We have a fun event planned for you, which includes hearing from one of our youth members on what Scouting means to him. We will also recognize two distinguished citizens who have had a huge impact on the community as well as Scouting. I invite you to join me as we open our event with the Pledge of Allegiance from Scotia of Girl Scout Troop 413 and the Scout Oath and Law by John of Troop 413 and Jimmy of Pack 413.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance in English and Spanish. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Prometo lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación ante Dios indivisible con libertad y justicia para todos. 2.
Please join us for the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to guide my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout Law. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
Thank you, Scotia, John, and Jimmy. 2020 has been a challenging year, but Scouting has continued, and I would like to thank our sponsors and all of you for attending this morning for your generous support and efforts of the Hawk Mountain Council. Thank you to the following sponsors for their generous support of our program. Platinum sponsor, Connors Investor Services. Gold sponsors, B&G Glass, East Penn Manufacturing, Herbine and Company, and Tompkins Vis Bank. Silver sponsors, M&T Bank and Riverview Bank. Support a Scout sponsor, Brentwood Industries, Fraser Advanced Systems, David and Lisa Geyer, and R.M. Palmer and Company. Send a Scout to Camp sponsors, Jerry Blecker, Custom Milling and Consulting, Gail Landis, Gallon Insurance, Leiswitz Heller, Mid-Penn Bank, Singer Equipment Company, Trios Inc., Jane and Jeff Weber, and William G. Cook and Associates. Thank you to all our sponsors. The young men and women served by the Hawk Mountain Council appreciate your generosity. Now I invite Jim Milhan, the Scout Executive and CEO of the Hawk Mountain Council, to update you on Scouting in Berks and Schuylkill counties.
Good morning, everyone. What a great morning for a virtual Scouting event. I want to thank you for attending this important event as we celebrate the spirit of Scouting, which is a leadership and service Scouting provides Berks and Schuylkill counties each and every day. Congratulations to Pete and Santina Connors, who are truly deserving of this honor. I'd also like to thank Laurie Grube for emceeing this morning's event and for serving as our Spirit of Scouting chair. Every team needs a leader, and credit goes to Laurie for a successful event. We'll be dropping off a token of our appreciation, Laurie, for all of your hard work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you, Laurie. As we celebrate 50 years as a council in 2020, no one could have imagined how challenging this year would be for so many businesses, nonprofits, and individuals impacted by the pandemic. As a council, we made some difficult decisions, including not having camp this summer and canceling or postponing many events. Who can tell me what the Scout motto is? I know our Scouts would know. That's right, be prepared. The Scout motto means that you're always ready to do what is necessary to help others. Be prepared is what I've seen over the last several months, and it's a message of hope as we've been able to move scouting forward with the help of a great staff, amazing volunteers, and a supportive community. We created an online virtual scouting hub that has a ton of resources to assist scouts and units so they can continue to meet and advance virtually. 110 Cub Scouts participated in the Cubs and Bugs virtual day camp this summer with virtual instructors from camp. With our staff as instructors, over 1,500 merit badges was earned virtually this past year, including digital technology, chess, family life, salesmanship, fingerprinting, art, music, movie making, animation, nature, wood carving, and Indian lore. Thanks to the United Way of Berks and Schuylkill County for providing over 400 hours of volunteer service at camp. We also held our National Youth Leadership Training over 2 weekends in September. 24 youth and 20 staff led this course following all COVID-19 precautions. Participant and parent responses have been very positive. This is a course that teaches young men and women how to be effective leaders. We need more than ever right now. We've also had some themed weekends at Hawk Mountain Scout Reservation, themes including home improvement, scout skills, boating, shooting sports, and what I didn't learn in history class. Over 200 participated. Hawk Mountain also sponsored a 2-day race weekend in September with events including a 3K, 6K, mountain biking, kayaking, triathlon, and much more. Over 100 participants attended this new event, which helped us highlight our great camp. I'm also proud to announce that we collected over 140,000 pounds of food for Scouting for Food this past weekend. This benefits Helping Harvest and many other food pantry. That is double over last year. What an amazing result. I'm also proud to announce that we finished the Willits Dining Hall and Kitchen renovation and also added pavilions to our Pathfinder area, which is our first year scouting area. This is amazing with all the COVID-19 restrictions. Nothing is more important than the safety of our youth members. It is our top priority. Over many years, the BSA has developed some of the strongest youth protection policies found in any youth serving organization. This multi-layer process of safeguard includes a leadership policy that requires at least 2 youth protection trained adults be present with youth, and it bans one-on-one situations where adults would have any interaction alone with children, either in person, online, or via text. A thorough screening process for adult leaders and staff, including criminal background checks. A prompt mandatory reporting of any alleged or suspicion of abuse to law enforcement. The values of scouting, as you heard today from Scotia, John and Johnny, and the oath and law, have not changed for 110 years. And I'm proud of that. Citizenship continues to be the forefront of what we teach our future leaders. At this time, I'd like to introduce today's Scout speaker, William Fanning. He's a Life Scout from Troop 413 of Wyomissing. He is currently serving as the role and senior patrol leader for his troop. Will has a wonderful scouting experience in the National Youth Leadership Training, and he'll tell us about that.
Hello, my name is William Fanning, and I'm a Scout in Wyomissing Troop 413. I wanted to tell you why Scouting is so important to me and why I enjoy it so much. Over the past couple of years, I have made several friends because of Scouting and have become more and more active in the troop. Last summer, I was given the opportunity to participate in National Youth Leadership Training at the beautiful Hawk Mountain Scout Reservation. At this week-long training, the ideal troop was represented as we learned about how to become better leaders, scouts, and people. It was so refreshing to be around scouts who were excited to be participating in the model troop as we learned how to better ourselves. At this camp, I made friends with scouts and even some counselors who I am still in touch with today. At this camp, there were several competitions where our patrols would compete against each other, and even silly games such as Bang, where we would get opportunities to bond with each other. As I got in the car after a week long of fun, I could not stop describing all the fun I had and telling stories of what we did. As I neared the end of the car ride, I was realizing the application of these things that we learned at camp. These games we played between activities could be something our troop does to break the ice between scouts. These meetings we had should be used in our troop so we can better prepare for the year. Almost everything we did at camp had a purpose, and I was finally realizing the application. Scouting is so important to me because of the friendships I've made and the skills that I've learned.
Thank you, Will. You are truly a great representative of the Scouting program and the impact involvement in Scouting can have on our youth. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for the morning, Chris Kegg. Chris is the founder and executive director of the I Am Able Foundation and the founder of Core Fitness. He is an adaptive athlete, a public speaker, and a relentless advocate for the adaptive community. His personal motto is improvise, adapt, and overcome. Chris's full biography can be found in our online program. I am pleased to introduce our keynote speaker, Chris Kegg.
Hi, my name is Chris Kegg. I'm the founder and the CEO of the I Am Able Foundation here in Wyomissing, as well as Core Fitness, which is a fitness facility in Wyomissing. So I have a lot of things that I've done in my career and in my life in general. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of my things that I've learned over the years. I'm also very honored to be speaking for the honor of Santina and Pete Connors. Pete and Santina Connors, it's so good to see you. I have not seen you guys in a long time, so I'm very happy to see that you're being honored. So congratulations. So to go back to how things got started for me, and hopefully for me speaking today, the thing I want everybody to walk away with, I really want to walk away with changing perceptions on what you were able to accomplish, what you were able to achieve despite challenges or despite obstacles that you have to overcome, because those are the exact same things that I've had to figure out over the years. And I was just like you. I was born normal. Had no problems as I was growing up, and when I was 8 years old, I started playing football. I was about not a very athletic kid, but I still played football ever since I was about 8 years old, all the way through school. When I graduated high school when I was 17, I was very out of shape, very not willing to get out and be active, and I was kind of heavy. So when I graduated from high school, I went to Marine Corps boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. So I followed in the footsteps of my dad, my grandfather, and my uncle, and my brother after me to be a Marine. So I had wanted to be a Marine my entire life. So it was an amazing milestone for me to be able to go to boot camp and to achieve that title of being a U.S. Marine. And the reason that I went to Marine Corps boot camp, obviously I'm very patriotic. I wanted to serve my country, wanted to do as much as I can to be able to further the things that the military does. And when I was in boot camp, I was challenged more than I've ever been challenged. Unfortunately, when I went to boot camp, I didn't prepare myself like I probably should have physically. So when I got to boot camp, I really had a hard time with the physical aspect of it. When I got there, starting off with a 1.5 mile run, thought I was going to die pretty much every day. But during those 3 months, I really learned that it wasn't about me. It was about my team. And I had 70, 80 guys in my platoon. And if I failed, if I quit on something, my entire team would have to pay for me. So I got to the point where I realized that I couldn't quit, I couldn't stop, I couldn't give up, because if I did, my teammates were going to have to suffer. So that's something that I'm sure, being in the Scouts, you look at as being a team. This is not an individual effort. Doesn't matter how good you are, it's how good your team is, and the amazing things that you can accomplish by being a team and not just an individual. So during those 3 months of boot camp, I never quit on any challenge, never quit on anything. We had a lot of people in my platoon that would have quit and didn't finish the challenge that were put in front of them, but I never quit. 3 months later, I got out at 180 pounds. I could run 3 miles in 20 minutes. I could do 20 pull-ups, 100 crunches. I thought that I was pretty awesome then. But it was a very amazing moment for me to be able to achieve the title of a U.S. Marine and realize a lot more about myself. During that time as well, I received the defining moment of my life. So I went out for a 4.5 mile run, and my drill instructor, who was a Force Recon Marine, he was pretty awesome. We went out for a run, and it was a very fast pace. And we dropped about 5 or 6 guys out of the platoon. But again, I didn't quit. But as soon as I crossed the finish line, I collapsed. I started to well up, towards the end, because I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. And my drill instructor yelled out, "Don't quit on me, Kegg." And that was something that made a huge impact on me, because not too many drill instructors are very encouraging. They don't really offer you too much support, but he did. And I still have a very strong relationship with drill instructor Sergeant Hart, who is now a colonel in the U.S. Marine Corps, which is pretty amazing. But that experience, I didn't realize this until later on, is that was the defining moment of my life. And if you don't have a defining moment, if you have not figured out that defining moment in your life, hopefully you find it, because that defining moment will really dictate to you how much you can accomplish. So 2 weeks after my 21st birthday, I was overseas in Aviano, Italy, went out for a run just like I always did, and noticed that my feet started to drag, and I started to feel weakness in my hip flexors. So I was 21 years old, really had no idea what was going on. So they sent me back to the States, where I spent 9 weeks at Walter Reed Hospital in DC, and I was diagnosed with a degenerative nerve disease from a head injury I had sustained while I was in. And unfortunately, my Marine Corps career was done. So I was discharged from the Marine Corps, came back to lovely Berks County, and started to have some problems. Started to trip over my feet, started to lose my balance if I would close my eyes. So I started to use a cane, and then I started using 2 canes, and then within 5 years, I was in a chair. But like I just told you, that defining moment, the Marine Corps is really what I believe has saved my life. It gave me the ability to overcome any challenges, overcome anything that was put in front of me, because the Marine Corps does not take excuses. They do not take reasons for you not to continue moving forward and doing the things that you want to do. So now I've been able to do so many things, despite the fact that I am now in a chair, and I'm adaptive. So I'm not disabled, I'm adaptive, because if you look at disabled, that's the connotation that think that somebody can't do something. I can do a lot. I just do things differently, and I want to make sure that the people who I come in contact with, they know that they can still get out there and do as much as they can. So if anybody, anybody in the audience, anybody out there who just doesn't think that they can do something, you really have to just believe in the fact that you can get out there and you can do whatever you want. You just have to figure out how to make it happen, because all of us have challenges on a daily basis. You just have to improvise, adapt, overcome. Figure out a different way to do things, adapt that change into your daily life, and then move on with no excuses. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I had to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, because I was still a young guy, 21 years old, and really had no idea what I wanted to do. But started core fitness. So I get a chance to be a drill instructor, and now I get a chance to motivate and inspire civilians to be able to get out there and redefine what it is they're able to do. So core fitness is a gym that I started out of the back of my pickup truck, did local parks outside, and then in 2017 I got our own building, which we are coming up in November. We're starting our 17th year, which is something that I'm very, very proud of. That same year that I started core fitness, I started my I Am Able Foundation. And the I Am Able Foundation, we provide adaptive equipment grants, motivation, and that ability for people to redefine what is possible to themselves. So anybody who's adaptive or disabled, who has challenges, canes, crutches, wheelchairs, we provide them the ability to get out and buy adaptive sporting equipment so they can get out and still lead an active lifestyle, so that they can really achieve so many things that they didn't think possible. And that's something that, for me, I feel very fulfilled. I feel very very lucky that I had a chance to continue to serve. I'm not wearing a Marine Corps uniform, but at the same time, I'm still serving. I'm still out there trying to motivate and help as many people as possible. So that's something that, if anybody knows any veterans, they want to serve. They want to continue to help and motivate as many people as possible. So I think that I, have been very lucky to have the experience that I've had. And if this did not happen to me, I don't think that I would be able to do the things that I've been doing. So the thing I want to make sure that everybody understands, if you see somebody out there who has challenges, everybody has things that they have to deal with on a daily basis. But if you see somebody, please let them know about me. Please let them know that there's a resource in Berks County that could, really help them along, if they're having problems with motivation or the ability to get out there and do things. I really want to redefine what is possible to them. So I look forward to seeing some people out here. If anybody wants to get involved in any of the events that we have, we're always looking for great people to come out and help us out and volunteer. And we have some amazing things that are, even despite COVID, we are still out there doing as many things as possible. I'm very proud that COVID did not take us out. COVID did not make us stop helping as many people as we can. So it's been a way that we've had to really improvise the way that we do things, but it's redefined the way that I Am Able now operates. So we've been able to continue to help the people who need it the most, the ones that are out there that need that emotional connection and that emotional support. All these kids with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, we still do the same exact classes and the same things that we've done, even during normal times. So that's another thing right there. I want to make sure everybody understands. Please don't use COVID. Please don't use this shutdown as an excuse not to achieve the things that you had set out to do. So there's still a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of things that we have going for us. I want to make sure that everybody sees that we're able to continue to keep taking a step forward. So thank you very much, everybody. And I congratulate the Santina and Pete Connors for your recognition today.
Thank you, Chris. Scouting is about giving young men and women the tools and resources to succeed in life. There's no program I can think of that teaches leadership, character development, and promotes physical and mental fitness as well as the Boy Scouts of America. Scouts have countless opportunities to learn, practice, hone their skills, and participate in numerous activities that reinforce character development. As you heard from Jim Milham this morning, character development, I apologize. Scouting continues in 2020. Scouting also teaches young people the importance of giving back to their community through service projects. We are very proud of our scouts, that our scouts give over 305,000 hours of community service each year in our local communities. Scouting teaches that a leader must have integrity, and trustworthiness is still important. This morning, I ask each of you to help give interested young people the opportunity to learn, grow, and succeed in scouting. By donating any amount, you will help a scout who may not have the financial resources to attend camp, buy a uniform, or even a book, or even pay the annual registration fee. A donation of $300 will support a scout for an entire year. $150 will support a scout for 6 months. A donation of any amount will make a difference in the life of a young person this year. You may use text to give by following the directions that are currently on the screen. Your gift today will support youth like Will, Scotia, John, and Jimmy. Please take a minute to consider your support. On behalf of Scouts, we thank you. Now is the time that we have been waiting for, when we recognize this year's honorees, Peter and Santina Connor. To present the 2020 Spirit of Scouting Award, I would like to turn the mic over to our 2019 recipient, Don Mull of B&G Glass.
Peter and Santina Connors met at Weidenheimer Systems, where Santina continues to work to this day. In 1992, Peter joined his family business, Connor Investment Services, Inc. He leads the firm, which just celebrated its 50th year in service to clients around the country. Peter and Santina continue the legacy of his parents, Jim and Anna Connors, of service and commitment to local nonprofit organizations. Pete and Santina served as campaign co-chairs, as Jim and Anna had 28 years earlier, for the 2018 United Way annual campaign. Theirs was the largest campaign success in United Way of Berks County's history at that time, raising over $10.9 million. They continue to support the United Way board and committees and serve as the co-chairs of the Loan Campaign Specialist Program. In addition to the United Way, Peter and Santina serve and have served in roles of governance and fundraising for countless organizations, such as Safe Berks, Penn State St. Joe's Hospital, Opportunity House, Bethany Children's Home, American Red Cross, John Paul II Special Learning Center, Karen Treatment Centers, Hawk Mountain Council, Boy Scouts of America, and many more. Pete and Santina are proud parents of Jacob and Benjamin Connors, both wrapping up their college experiences. Julie McGregor and her husband Peter and a grandson, and also Jonathan Moyer and his wife Kathy and their 2 children. Please enjoy this video of the presentation of the Spirit of Scouting Award.
The annual Spirit of Scouting Award recognizes individuals or an organization for exemplary community service and leadership. Through our honorees' care and compassion for our communities, many individuals benefit and enjoy a better quality of life. Today's honorees manifest in life and deeds selfless concern for others that strengthen our spirits and the very fabric of Berks County and beyond. Our recipients quietly give time and resources whenever and wherever needed. Through commitment, persistence, good judgment, and a joyful heart, lives are enriched. No form of award or recognition can adequately express our gratitude for the good works these 2 wonderful leaders perform. Through the presentation of the Spirit of Scouting Award, the Hawk Mountain Council, Boy Scouts of America, simply acknowledges our recipients as a shining light and an inspiration for others to follow. I would now ask the 2019 Spirit of Scouting Award recipient, Don Mull, to present the award to this year's honorees, Peter and Santina Connors.
Good morning, and thank you, Lori. The Spirit of Scouting Award is a great honor, and it's just an incredible opportunity to recognize Pete and Santina, who have done so much for Berks County and the entire East Coast community. So, it gives me great pleasure to present you both with the Hawk Mountain Council Spirit of Scouting Award. We are truly humbled by your service, leadership, and commitment you provide to our community. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are deeply honored and grateful.
We appreciate it.
Now let's hear from Pete and Santina.
Good morning, everybody. Santina and I are deeply grateful and truly humbled by this award. It is such an honor to be recognized by one of the most well-regarded scout councils in the country, Hawk Mountain Council. Sign us up any day to an organization that has impacted over 110 million Americans since its founding in 1910. Its mission to create responsible citizenship, character development, and self-reliance. This organization has truly helped shape the American character over the last century. Santina and I were so excited to learn that Chris Kegg was going to be the guest speaker this morning. It's probably been about 15 years. It was before our kids hit those teenage sports years. But if you had been a fly on the wall in one of Chris Kegg's fitness sessions back then, you would have heard the following a lot. Connors, what are you doing? So let's just say Chris was not referring to Santina. He was referring to me. His fitness courses required the combination of fitness effort and ability to remember the station sequences and remember the exercise techniques. This was not good for me. I can do one of those. I can't do all 3 at once. We love Chris. Trusting your takeaway of him is like ours. Chris is one of the most inspiring people that our lives have had the privilege of crossing paths with. Thank you, Chris, for everything you do. Santina and I have been the beneficiaries of some tremendous role models. So many amazing people like Chris that have championed great work in this community. And our parents, both of my parents were very active in community nonprofit work, as was mentioned earlier in the intro. While we lost my father this past January, his example will always be with us. He strongly believed and lived with full conviction in taking care of coworkers and family, critical. Effective business efforts and serving our clients, critical. But as important, being sure to give back and try to better the lives of all the people in the community. My parents did this in so many ways. My father was not officially a scout, although I argue he lived his life like a scout. He did reluctantly overnight camp with me once when I was in the thick of my scouting experience. He talked about that experience a lot. It was not his most natural setting to be in sub-zero temperatures in a sleeping bag. I'm just saying. I got involved in scouting through my best friend, Doug Miller, in growing up. It was a late start. I was 14 at the time, but I loved it. The hiking, the rafting, camping, hanging out with friends. Summer camp was awesome. Did it multiple times each summer. Doug was Marlon Miller's son. Most of you know Marlon well. He's a successful business founder, Arrow International, community leader. Marlon is an Eagle Scout. As it seemed like I spent half my childhood at their home with my friendship with Doug, I was so blessed to see his shining example of how Eagle Scouts conduct themselves. So here we are in 2020. Wow, what a year. Divided political times, pandemic, a time where important messages about right and wrong can get blurred and our leaders struggle to find common ground to advance us. I hope you can agree that we need to look less south towards Washington and more towards organizations right here in our community, like the Scouts, to help form the world as we aspire to want it. Hawk Mountain Council is guiding our young men and women towards those goals. Last weekend, we were traveling with some friends to Charlottesville, Virginia. Our friend's daughter attends the University of Virginia. It was a great weekend, beautiful weather. We checked off a bucket list item, which was to take a ride in a hot air balloon. It's fantastic. We stayed at a bed and breakfast. And on the back of one of the bathroom doors in the bed and breakfast, there was a poster. You've probably all seen things like this. It said, life's little instructions, 50 or 60, some of them silly, some of them obscure, funny, practical, some of them imperative. But I was reading them and it hit me like a wave because as I had been reflecting on how to convey to all of you the results of my experiences within scouting and the people I know who make it their mission to help develop our youth in scouting. So as backdrop, just to remind you, the stated mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout oath and law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. As I did reading the subset of life's instructions written by someone with very practical reflection on what's important in life, I encourage you to think about the scouting program, its core values, the way it seeks to develop our young people into great neighbors, citizens, and leaders. And please reflect on the Scouts you know. Again, these instructions are not Scout instructions, but most Scouts I know hold the majority of these traits. So here we go. And again, some of them are sort of silly, but return borrowed vehicles with the tank full. Compliment 3 people every day. Leave everything better than you found it. Sing in the shower. Never refuse homemade brownies. Think big thoughts, but relish small pleasures. Become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. Floss your teeth. Overtip breakfast waitresses. Say thank you a lot. Say please a lot. Commit yourself to constant improvement. Carry jumper cables in your car. Look people in the eye. Plant flowers every spring. Have a dog. Stop blaming others. Wave at kids on school buses. Feed a stranger's expired parking meter. Don't expect life to be fair. Take responsibility for every area of your life. Live your life as an explanation, not an explanation. Don't be afraid to say, I made a mistake. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. And never waste an opportunity to tell someone you love them. Count your blessings.
And call your mother. Scouting guides people towards this list. Thank you, Hawk Mountain Council, for this award and for helping shape the next generation.
And guiding all of us on how to treat each other. Santina and I are so appreciative of this honor.
Congratulations, Pete and Santina. You have certainly made an impact on our community, and we thank you for it. Before I let you all go, I'd like to share one more video of our Scouts.
2020 has been a really tough year, but scouting is still happening. Let's hear from some of our fellow scouts about what scouting means to them in 2020.
Cub Scouting in 2020 is setting goals and crushing them.
Scouting in 2020 are making s'mores. Scouting in 2020 is making new friends.
Scouting in 2020 is hand sanitizer. Lots of hand sanitizer. Scouting in 2020 is camping.
Scouting in 2020 is making campfires. Scouting 2020 is about learning something new.
In 2020, scouting is an adventure.
In 2020, scouting is helpful. Scouting in 2020 is fun. Cub Scout 2020 is being nice. And Cub Scouts in 2020 is learning belt loops. Scouting in 2020 is going on an adventure.
In Cub Scouts in 2020, we could do virtual anything.
Scouting in 2020, I can be a leader. Scouting in 2020 is playing games.
Cub Scouting in 2020 is having fun with my friends and learning new things.
Cub Scouts in 2020 is social distancing!
Thank you, Scouts. 2020 has been a memorable year, and we appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. The time has come to continue our workday. Thank you all for joining us this morning as we honored our 2020 Spirit of Scouting recipients, Peter and Santina Connors. Once again, a special thank you to our lead sponsors, Connors Investment Services, B&G Glass, East Penn Manufacturing, Herbiding Company, and Tompkins Vis Bank. If you would like to make a donation, please follow the directions currently on the screen. Thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for making a difference in the lives of Scouts of the Hawk Mountain Council. Have a wonderful day, everyone.